We are live. Okay, Miss Thing. I need you to get up. Move over. Go over there. Go over there. Come on. Go over there. No, move.
Come on, mommy, move.
Go over there. Go.
You can come on this side.
Oh, yeah, you can go on that side.
You can sit with her.
Let me see. Oh, I need to turn my mic on. Oh, I don't have my hat. Oh! Look at us on time and stuff. I can't tell if anybody's in here yet. But is anybody in here yet?
No, not good.
Slacker.
Oh, Tori is.
Hey, Tori's in here. Damn, I got an ad already. My ads be annoying. All right, so what's going on? We're going to talk about our goals and stuff like that for 2026. But Lexi here, because, well, you don't know, Tori, but a few of our subscribers wanted to see your mom put up the tree. So we were gonna block it, but then since we were chilling, hello Angel, because we were chilling, your mom Lexi decided to put up the tree on the live. So that's what she's gonna be doing while we're bumping our gums up here. So I can't see the screen to read the comments, so I'm reading them off my phone. As long as my phone lasts, because I only got 23% left. But yeah, we never got to it today. we were bumping our gums. That's okay though.
Bumping our gums.
We had a good time. We were having family time. Like, it's okay. We were having family time. But what's going on? What's going on, Angel? And I guess you're the fourth person in here.
Oh, yeah. I guess
What?
I don't need to if you are.
Well, you got more battery percentage than me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you might want to leave yours on because I only have 23%.
Yeah, I definitely have more.
Yeah.
But we got a 4-foot tree. It's just a small tree. You know, we don't have all this space to be putting big trees anyway. However, I'm going to wrap a packing box with Christmas wrapping paper, and then I'm going to put the tree on top so it's not so low to the ground.
That works. And if anybody out there who needs a tree and funds are a little tight, I don't know where you are in the world, but in North Carolina, Michael's had them for, I think we bought the tree itself for like $20.
Yeah, it was 19 something.
Hey, Shorty, what up from Connecticut? So yeah, we bought the tree for like $20. We bought the tree,
the ornament,
the topper, which we didn't get.
We got the topper. We didn't get the red bow.
Oh, we didn't get the bow. Okay, so the topper, we got some ornaments. I think we paid like less than $50 for all of it from Michael's. Yep. And it was good enough. So that was great. Oh, and Tori says Dollar Tree has some great great ornaments.
But you want to get a few more ornaments.
For you guys that don't know, Shorty and Angel, D Mars, that is our beautiful daughter, who hung out with us today, and my nephew, her grandson. If you were here for that story, then you understand. But yeah, because everything, Tori said, you got to look at the prices because not everything's $1 anymore.
Yeah, I know.
It's a whole thing. She said it's a whole thing.
When I went and I got those bowls that we found out are not microwave safe, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I found out yesterday that a bowl I went to use to microwave some leftovers was not microwave safe.
I got from Dollar Tree, but I got it from their $5 section because they have the $125, $3, and then $5. So I was like, oh, for $5, it's a pretty big set. Like, it was like 6 bowls with the covers and everything. Well, if I would have known that they weren't microwave safe.
Yeah, they were not microwave safe. She was like, I said, look, I have a confession to make.
I would definitely not have.
And she was like, what happened? I'm like, you know those bowls you put the leftover ribs in? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, they're not microwave safe. She's like, how do you know? I was like, because I microwaved it.
And it wasn't a safe outcome.
and it wasn't a safe outcome. The meat got heated up, like it got nuked, but the bowl was like disintegrated.
Like what?
Yes, I did say the ribs. The ribs were good. I ate them. They were good. They were good. But yeah, the bowl was not a. I was like, oh. And I didn't like. I mean, I had the lid on it, but not tight. Like, you know, so like I just cover it, so like I just put it like on the top, so it doesn't like pop, you know, juices or whatever. But like I didn't have it tight on there, so I was like, "This."
You're not supposed to leave the lid in.
Oh, well, I know that. JJ, what's good? I have tomorrow. I have a vlog coming that there's a whole segment in there that I did with you in mind. Specifically for you, my brother. Specifically for you. You'll see it. It's coming, man. Today or tomorrow. I gotta see what we did. We did a lot. Yeah. Specifically for you. Something that you've been asking for. Luckily for me, it wasn't that bad. Luckily for me, it wasn't that bad. I would show you, but my camera is like wired into my, like I got it hooked up into my MacBook, so I can't turn the camera around. But I would show you. But vlog is coming, you'll see it. You'll see it. By the way, if you just coming in, Lexi is doing the tree now. We were gonna vlog it, but our daughter came to hang and bang with us today. So we got to running our mouths and talking, and so we didn't ever get to do it. So Lexi decided to do it on the live. So all the noise you're hearing is her.
It's just me.
It's her doing the do. I would I finally, well, I can't see what you just said. Hold on. I finally do the moonwalk. No. Although I would feel badass if I could do that. I would definitely feel badass if I was able to do that. So how's you guys' night going? Like, what's going on? Yeah, thank you. We had some fun with our daughter, and I believe it or not, our daughter doesn't do social media, but like she's a social media guru. Like she's always giving me ideas. First of all, let me say that everything I know about social media, I've learned from our daughter, and then she's the one that taught me how to edit. When I first started YouTube, the first year, I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know anything, and so she took on the task of editing for me, and I got annoying. So she was like, "You're gonna have to learn how to do this yourself." So she taught me. Like I started getting phone calls. Why don't you come over? I'm gonna edit your video so you can see. I was like, "Yeah, she's teaching me." And then at one point, she was just like, "All right,
I think you can do it yourself."
she's like, "You can do it yourself. Call me if you need me." Deuces. So everything I learned, 95% of what I know about editing, I've learned from my daughter. Angel says, "Nice gift wrap paper." Hold on, let me.
Oh, thank you.
Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna come off screen for a minute, and I'm gonna angle the camera down a little so y'all can see a little better what she's doing. Excuse me for sneezing in your ear.
And sneeze at the same time.
All right, so that y'all can see a little bit what she's doing. Yeah, so my daughter's like, she's the one. So when she was here, I don't know, last week sometime, and she was giving me like all sorts of, so like if you saw the short, that I did the behind the scenes of me getting a clip that I got from in the vlog. That was her idea. Like she was like, "Oh, you should do this. This is popping." So I did it. She's awesome. She's not a fan of social media, but she knows what she's talking about. And you know what, JJ? Like I don't either, and neither does our daughter. That's why she doesn't do it, and Lexi really doesn't either. So that's why a lot of times I'm the one on the comments, and when there's a specific comment for her, like yours the other day, like I tell her specifically, so she doesn't have to look at the comments because some people. Thankfully, we haven't had none in a while, but like you said, people are jerks, and they can say some really mean things and be disrespectful and stuff. So now, let me say, I will say this: I don't have a problem clapping back. I have no problem. If you want to battle wits with me, we can go at it. The difference is that though, I'm trying to run a successful channel, and I can't be, I can't be doing, but I have said some stuff in retaliation that I've hurt some people's feelings.
I mean, sometimes you just.
I don't care. Like I don't. If you don't care how I feel, I don't care about how you feel. But I'm the one trying to run a channel, so I can't do that. But there's a way to say F you without saying F you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. Definitely, JJ, definitely. Angel, yeah, you're an introvert too. Ad. I just got an ad on my blog. I'm an introvert too. Like, definitely, I socialize when I have to. Like, talking on the camera and doing this doesn't bother me because at the end of the day, it's just me and the camera. So like that doesn't bother me. But I definitely am an introvert too. Like it gets tiring. Like after this, like I go into my room and I hibernate for like 13 hours and I don't But definitely. AJ Tori says AJ definitely gonna try to open that box next time he's there. He's here. He's here. Yeah, it is. Like, sometimes, you gotta pace yourself. And there's a lot of times, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of times where I made it a point a little while back where I said, I'm not going to correct anybody unless I'm getting paid for it. And when I see a comment that I don't like, I just, you can't block from the channel, but I just hide from the channel. I hide people. So literally when you hide somebody from the channel, they don't know that they're hid from the channel. So they can still see the content. They can still comment. But me or the rest of you can't see it. And I have no qualms. I'm like, whatever, dude, talk to the void. And I don't have time. People ask stupid questions like, they're like, well, if you were broken homeless, then why are you, how do you maintain your weight and stuff like that? Like, you know what? And, I say things that, I'm like, every time I do something to your mom, she makes me a sandwich. And that's why I'm still big. So stuff like that. But like I say, you can't do that all the time. You know what I mean? But I mean, you're going to be an asshole and I'm going to be an asshole right back. So, but I try not to be that way. So
sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, somebody said that. And again, I hit him from the chat. I'm like, but it's crazy. Like, so I was repetitive and I was boring, but you watched the whole video. Like,
obviously.
Like, whatever. And don't get me wrong, I can take constructive criticism. Like, I have no problem. Like, I know that,
constructive criticism.
I know I'm not for everybody, and I don't try to be. I know that we're not for everybody, and we don't try to be. I know that I'm not. I'm not the perfect person, but I said in a video a long time ago, like if you're looking for perfection, then I'm not the channel for you. You might as well unsubscribe right now. Like that's not. I'm not for you. I'm not the clearest speaker. I'm not. I'm not perfect. But then nobody is, and I don't try to be. Why strive to be something that you're never going to be? Perfection is God's job. I can strive for excellence. I can do that. But perfection, that's on God. And since I'm never going to get there, then why stress about how perfect I was? And my daughter is in the comments now, and Lexi can tell you now. When I first started, I struggled. Like I fought. I had to get the perfect angles. I had to get the perfect this and the perfect that, and it was more stress than I cared to admit. But now
it was fun.
Yeah, it was more stress than it was fun because I was taking. It was just a vlog, and still like I was doing shots 3 and 4 times over because it wasn't perfect. And whatever, man. I ain't got time for all that. If you like it, great. We're here for you. If I'm not the channel for you, then I'm not the channel for you, and I'm not gonna try to be perfect. Sorry, I'm not. Like you told me, like don't apologize for not making your bed or doing the dishes or whatever. Like, so if I go to your house, your bed and your dishes and your house is spotless. That's what you're saying.
All the time.
All the time. Like, the hell out of here.
It's real life over here.
Yeah, it's real life over here. We're doing things. Right. I do, like I do agree with that. I think contrasting opinions and constructive criticism, I do think that that's growth, like you take somebody, if somebody came to me and was like, hey, like you were doing, so for instance, I don't know who it was, but a few videos ago, I get one of my nervous tics when I'm vlogging is that I do filler words a lot. So I say things like or I say those two things often. I know I do. And when I edit my videos back, I cringe because I can tell how many times I've said it. And if I edited all of those things out, and I edited quite a few of them out, but if I did it, I'd be editing for 8 hours. And somebody, jokingly said, they were like, if we paid you $1 for every time you said, you'd be able to pay your rent. And I thought it was funny because it was true. Like, that person was being true. Like, and I try hard not to do it, but it's I have anxiety. And that's one of the things, that's one of the ways it shows up is that, when I talk in real life, like I don't talk like that, but on camera, I do the likes and, and because I stumble and stutter and stuff like that. But like I said, man, like, I don't care. You do it and see how good you would do. And if you can't do as good as I do or better, then your opinion means shit to me. You know what I mean? Like, so I try to be me as best as I can because it takes too much work to be anybody else. And, that's why I appreciate all of you for being here because, regardless of what I do good or whatever we do good or we don't do well, you still here and you're still support. And that's what matters to us because we know we're not perfect. And like I said, we're never trying to be. We're not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to be really us. So I don't, too many people worry about, what I look like and what I'm like, whatever, man. I got time for that. How my phone just took a screenshot by itself.
You needed that. You didn't know?
Yeah, it literally just took a. Tori says, your tree looks cute.
I think
she loves colorful bulbs. We were so excited because they were actual, like the cute bulbs.
Not the regular Christmas lights.
So anyway, enough of the negativity. We don't want to talk about negative stuff in these lies because, you can look out your window and see negativity all around, and that's not what I want. I want our blogs, well, my content in general to be. Tori said it's getting serious. She put her glasses on.
I couldn't see. I couldn't connect it. I needed my extra eyeballs.
Yeah, I mean, people can, JJ, they can, but like I said, man, I just we want to be us, and if you show up in these lives and the comments of our videos and stuff like that, we're hoping is because you like us for us. Like I don't have one thing when I started social media, when I started YouTube, my daughter said to me, she said, be who you are, because whoever you show up to be is who you're gonna have to continue being. And if I come in here and pretend whatever, then sometimes I don't want to make the bed, and sometimes I don't want to do the dishes, and sometimes I don't want to vacuum. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I don't want to do that. And now so either I can't blog because I don't want to do it, or I have to do it even though I don't want to because I want to look a certain way. That takes too much energy. I'm too old for
that. Agreed.
Jay just said I vomit seeing you. That kind of is kind of funny. Like on cue, like as soon as you see me, just blur.
I like that.
That's kind of cool effect. Like I make people vomit, baby.
What skills you got?
Yeah, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, JJ. Like for real, like that's it. So, but anyway, 2026 is around the corner, and we wanted to talk about our goals and yours and mine. So we would love to hear about your goals. Things you want to do or accomplish, things you want to leave behind, and realistic. Like realistic. Like not that I want to lose weight thing. I mean, unless it's actually really true, or I want to quit smoking or whatever. Like, what really is it that you want to do? And then drop it in the comments. Leave a comment and we'll while we tell you what our goals are and for stuff like that. I don't know y'all like that. So
lies.
So you'll see again. I wish I could turn the camera around, but you'll see in the next vlog that comes out, Lexi is setting up to do to revive her business, which was originally called Simple Designs by Lexi, which I think she's gonna go back to. Which is gonna go back to.
Can I see the remote?
She pivoted a little bit. We tried to make quick money because we were in a position where we needed to, but it kind of took her away from what she actually liked about the crafting scene and stuff like that. And she loves to create, so she's gonna go back to what got her some traction and what got her rolling and stuff like that. So we set up a little area for her, and we thankfully, we lost a lot of our product, like our glitter and rhinestones and our cup wraps and stuff like that. Did we lose cup? No, we still have the cup wraps, but thankfully we had enough to get her started. So there's some things that we're working on that we need to get, but she's gonna get back into that. We're totally excited for that. Yeah, JJ, like let me tell you, she did the between her and our daughter, they did the souvenirs for our wedding, and all the photos that you see of our wedding and stuff like that, those are taken by our daughter, who is a fantastic photographer, and
she's a girl of many traits.
yeah, she's pretty damn good, like at a lot of things. Like she's a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Like she's pretty good at a lot of stuff. So good that in our house she put the ceiling fan in. The only ceiling fan we had, she put it in. She was like, "Oh, I can do that." And I was like, "Really?"
And did.
And did it, and she did it like without instructions, without anything. Yeah. So, but Lexi's gonna get back into that. She did all the souvenirs, and she, it wasn't until the wedding was the first time that she did something that I was like, oh wow, she was pretty good at that. And then I don't know how the conversation started, but our son, they were visiting, and he started the conversation of like, why don't you do that? And as a matter of fact, the machine she uses now, he bought the machine for her to get started, and then I filled in the the little things to go, everything she needed to go with it. But he got her, like, he literally set the ball rolling for her and was like, get started. And she did some awesome things, and I have some stuff that I'll show you that you'll see in the vlog of some samples of things that she did. But yeah, so she's really good at that. Tori said, "Me again. I'm way too involved in your lives." Yeah, Tori is she's I push her, not so much her mother. I push her to do things all the time. I'm like, Tori, like, you need to, like, come on, people would watch you. People would literally, but she helps us a lot. Everything she'll do whatever except glitter. She's not messing with glitter. Like, she is like anti-glitter.
Yeah, I made sure that I cleaned up before she came to.
Yeah, when she was coming today, like, we made a mess with the glitter, and she was like, "Tori's coming, so I gotta clean this up."
I gotta clean this up, otherwise she'll walk right back out.
No, our the two oldest, our daughter. Well, our daughter is the oldest. Well, Tori, her name is Tori. She lives in North Carolina. She lives like 10 minutes away. Our oldest son lives in Jersey. The second daughter, my daughter, lives in Ohio, near Cleveland. And then my son lives in Texas, just north of Dallas. Tori said, "Oh my God, I hate glitter. It gets everywhere." Yeah. And JJ said glitter is evil.
It was everywhere.
It was, like, oh my God.
I was like, I gotta clean this up.
There would be times I'll be vlogging. I was vlogging. I would, in our first channel, there were times that I was vlogging and I would literally have glitter all over my face.
You'd be sparkling.
Yeah, it'd be sparkling. We're shimmering, shining here, baby. If you want to shimmer and shine, just come
visit.
Just come to the house. Come to the house.
I got you.
So yeah, unfortunately, they are spread out. They are spread out. We would love for them to all be in the same spot, but
that's what happens when they grow up.
Yeah, that's what happens when they grow up. My daughter got into a relationship. So the two oldest are Lexi's children. So Tori and our son that lives in Jersey. Those are her children from her previous marriage, from her first marriage, and then my two are from my first marriage as well. And so my two lived in Texas with their mom, and then my daughter got into a relationship and she moved to Ohio, and my son stayed in Texas. And then, so you guys know the story. So the oldest, Tori, was married to my brother who got stationed here in Fayetteville. And then, so she stayed when they split up. And then our son just recently moved to Jersey. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tori said every time I come over, I'd find glitter on me weeks later.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, seriously. Like she would not. She hated going to the room, the office where we created the crafting space. Like she hated going in there.
She was standing outside the door and talking.
Yeah, she was standing outside the door. I got another ad. Jesus Christ. Damn ads. She would literally stand outside the door and talk. So, but that's the goal for us. Like we're trying to like we started on this journey because I don't. So I'm gonna say something. I don't know. How, it may be a fantasy or whatever, but when I was working at the last, at Jiffy Lube, when I was working, like I worked. There were times I worked 60, 65 hours a week, and that didn't stop just because I wasn't at the stores. Like, we went on. We rarely took a vacation because I was always, the busiest times for me at work was when everybody else was taking vacation. So Christmas, Thanksgiving, around the holidays, people traveled and they drove. So that was literally the busiest time for me. So there were a lot of times that Lexi and I couldn't take vacation because that was a busy time for me. And quite literally, my income was based on how much I performed and how much I did. So, when you're making a lot of money and you get to that point where the more you perform, the more you make, it kind of is a drug. You know what I mean? It kind of is a drug. So you get into that and you're like, so there were times, when we would take the times we did take vacation, I would always take my work phone with me. I would always take my laptop. Like I never let nobody cover for me because I didn't trust nobody. Like I wanted to make sure that I made the money that I wanted to make. And so I wouldn't let nobody cover for me and whatever. So I was literally always working. And after, 7, 8 years of that, like I got burnt out and like to the point where I didn't want to go to work no more. Like I had no more energy. And I got frustrated that I'm like, damn, almost a decade went by and we have no experiences other than day-to-day life where we did stuff, you know what I mean? Like, so I got frustrated. And when things happened the way they happened, I made it a point to say that I was, if I can help it, I was done. Like I didn't want to go back to a 9 to 5. And even though I tried really hard to do so because I needed it at that point because things didn't work out the way we wanted to, my heart always knew that the goal wasn't to go back to a 9 to 5 and stay there. Like it was to, build this channel and go through other endeavors to get to a point where I didn't have to work for somebody else. And the goal now, literally today, is to keep doing it until we get to a point where Lexi doesn't have to do it, and hopefully sustain ourselves with things that we want to do. And let me say that it's not about just being rich. Teresa asked, "Are we doing a vision board this year?" I remember you did that a couple of years ago. I'm probably not gonna do a vision board because I learned that it's so much easier to do them digitally. So now I just do them. I literally have Brett do them for me, and I just literally tell them what I want and what aspect ratio to do them, and I save them to my. So like my phone and my iPad have vision boards on them, so I see them all the time. And JJ says it took me years to stop taking my work home with me when I worked at a private school, mainly because I enjoyed my job, so it was no biggie. I mean, yeah, and that's exactly why I did it. Like I loved what I did. I loved helping. I loved taking care of people. I loved providing that service. But
I mean, you love what you do, but at what cost?
Yeah.
To you and your mental health do you allow it, to to be like, oh, I love what I do.
Let me tell you something. I was getting phone calls at 6 in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, on Sunday to talk about things I couldn't do until Monday morning. Like it just, yeah. It got to a point where I wasn't happy. I no longer enjoyed what I was doing. And so when I finally lost my job, when I finally got to the point where I knew I was losing my job, that I was like, I wasn't even I wasn't even upset. Like it was almost a relief because I was just so done. And then it was made easier because the franchise I worked with that entire time sold the company like 6 months earlier. So we had new owners, and I lost like $30,000. So that also helped me like not care anymore. Like I just got burnt out, and as scary as it was then or whatever, like I mean it was, because Lexi was, she was worried and she was begging me, but I didn't have the mental capacity to do it anymore. Like I was all the way burnt out. But then, like I said, things happen the way they happen, but the goal was, like I said, to build something of our own, so that not with the idea that I would never work, because I can tell you, if you've never owned your own business or tried to own your own business, you work twice as hard. I work twice as hard now as a content creator, and she worked twice as hard as a crafter than we ever did at 9 to 5s. But it feels different. It's a different type of work, JJ says, but as time went on, I gradually stopped doing that, and I had to remind myself that my personal and home life required all of me, minus distractions from my job. Exactly. So, and that's a lesson that I learned, that even with content creation, and even with crafting, it's like we have to take days where we say, okay, like today we're not gonna do nothing. There are days when I say, today I'm not doing anything today. I'm not filming nothing. I'm not planning no content. Like I'm just gonna relax today, because you burn yourself out, and then you have nothing, and then you don't want to do it, and then you don't do it for days or weeks.
Is that you do all of that, and when it's your time, they don't have a problem with getting rid of you and replacing you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Because that's usually what happens. You just, you burnt out? Oh, okay. You can go. We'll figure this out.
So, but that's the goal, man. There's some philanthropy stuff that Lexi and I really want to do. That we really want, like I said, man, we're hoping to, be successful enough where God uses our pockets to help others, like literally that's the goal. Like I watched the video right before I got on, and it was a short about some teacher somewhere. No, not a teacher, a lunch later somewhere that got fired for giving first graders free lunch. And
giving first graders a meal.
She said that when they wouldn't have enough money on their account, they wouldn't get a regular meal. They'd get a cheese sandwich. And she said other kids would know why they got the cheese sandwich. Like, here I am eating, this hot meal, and this little young man has a cheese sandwich, and kids would know that. And kids are cruel and they're mean. And, so she's like, I would hear many times on how, kids would come back and they'd be like, her name was Debbie, I think. And she would like, Miss Debbie, like, I'm still hungry. And she was like, she was like, I get it. Like, rules are rules. I thought I was doing the right thing, though. And she got fired. She literally got fired. For, and, the good news is that her community came together and they raised money for her. And she quickly got, when the story came out, she got several job offers and stuff like that. But, just the thought, like, she got fired for that. Like how, the person that that made that decision to fire. Like, how do you sleep at night? Because she fed hungry children. You know what I mean? So, like, one thing that I would love to do, and I've said this before, like, I would love to call, the city, the board of education for the city, or however it need done, and I would love to pay for the lunches, of everybody, all the children that don't have money in their school lunch accounts. Like, that's something I would love to do. Um, I would love to hand out free meals to the homeless. That's something, like, that's my goal. You know, why I want to be as successful as I'm hoping to be, because that's what I want to do. Oh yeah, that's the way to do it. JJ says, but at this point in life, I have more me time because I'm a private contractor. I don't clock in and out. Hell yeah. Hey, Miss Alice, what's going on, girl? Yeah, you need to, because sometimes, like I said, man, like you can't pour from an empty cup. And again, everybody's first priority needs to be themselves. And I know that's hard to say, especially if you have children. But if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't make yourself your first priority, then how do you show up for your children? How do you do that? So yeah, and I don't mean, like, make sure that you have the nicest thing on and your kid looks like crap. I'm saying that, you have to take time for yourself. You have to say, you know what, I need a break. You need to say, you know what, tiny human. Today you're going to your grandma's and your uncle's house because I need a few hours to myself.
I had enough of you.
Like, sometimes, it be like that. But you have to do it so that you can continue showing up, so that you can continue giving your best. Because when you're broke down, either you take the break or your body's going to make you take the break. And if your body makes you take it, two things that you can be sure of. One, it's going to be for a lot longer than you hope. And two, it's going to be the most inconvenient time.
Because it always is.
Because it always is.
Yep.
Yeah, JJ, exactly. What's going on, Miss Alice? But exactly, JJ. Like, I was like, wow, dude. Like, how do you sleep with yourself at night for being the person that terminated her for that? Like, what a POS, you are for doing that. Like, I can't begin. It enrages me too. Like, I want to be able to do something, and I'm not in a position to do that right now. But when I am, like, when I'm in a position to do something, you guys know, because I'm gonna make it a point to do something, because there are people that are just need help. There are people that just need help. They're not lazy. They're not, there's nothing wrong with them. They just need a hand. And if you criticize and downplay what people are going through, then you're part of the problem. You know, if you downplay what people are going through, then you're part of that problem. Then you're part of the problem that people are complaining about. These children are hungry, man. Like, nobody should go hungry while they're forced to watch everybody else around eat. Like, come on, man. Like, and I don't care what anybody says. Cheese sandwiches are nasty. I don't like cheese like that. And then they give you a cold cheese sandwich. You can't even make it a grilled cheese.
And you ain't getting no Wonder or no butter bread.
Right.
Some dry.
Yeah, that dry
bread.
Hard bread with the crust that can cut your fingers if you touch it the wrong way. Like how do you do that? How do you work? How do you have a job where you work with children like that and you're okay with doing that? If I was a principal, like, that wouldn't.
I'd be broke.
I'd be broke. But I bet you that principal had a fancy office with a fancy desk and carpet and and stuff like that. Yeah. That's right. No damn body should be hungry. I agree. Nobody should be hungry. Everybody deserves at least a hot plate of food. And the thing is, and I'm not judging, because I've made mistakes and I've experienced this. I'm not judging, but people in jail get a hot meal. Prisoners get a hot meal.
But our children
in
school, while they're
school,
learning,
like they're and then I'm probably yelling, and I'm sorry because I'm getting passionate about what I'm saying. And then how do you charge children to eat somewhere? How do you charge them to eat when they're forced to be there? Like they're literally told they have to be there, and then you charge them to eat. That's crazy. JJ said, now grilled cheese is on another level. Exactly. At least the kid would have been happy. Like, oh yeah, I got some grilled cheese. Tori says, agreed. Nobody should be hungry. There's too much in the world. But unfortunately, lack of empathy and sympathy is very common. It is very, very common. Yep. It is more common. A lack of sympathy and empathy is more common than we like to admit.
Absolutely.
JJ said, don't get me started on the education system. I'm a former educator. But God bless you, because you guys are very underappreciated. Because I can tell you, I had some really dope teachers. I had some dope teachers that I'm sure were really underappreciated in many times. As a matter of fact, I reached out to one a few years back. I found her on some kind of social media. I don't know if it was Facebook or something.
I think it was Facebook.
I found her. She didn't remember me. But I told her, I was like, you were very influential in my life. Like she was kind to me in a way nobody else was when I was in junior high school. Like she was very kind to me. So, but I remember her. Tori says, I had to pay tuition for my kid to go to a public school outside of his county, but his county didn't provide the services he needed. Anyway, to make money off children. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
Basically what it is.
Exactly. If you don't offer the services I need, so I'm forced to go somewhere else, or don't get those services, and then I gotta pay for it. Like that's insane. Tree topper needs batteries. So it is, so the goal, like I said, man, we want to get our business, we want to, I hope the channel is thriving by this time next year. With a steady flow of income. We hope, that Lexi is got some good things going on, and she's gained her traction back after this time being away, and so that, like I said, man, there's some things that we want to do to help, and unfortunately, what we want to do takes money, but we want to do some things, and we want to make a difference. So we'll hope that this year, this 2025 was about getting back on our feet and getting stable again, and 2026 is about the mission started. So now that thank God that with our daughter's help, and luckily Lexi, one of us found a job that we were able to get into an apartment. We had somewhere safe to stay. Our daughter pulled us out of that hotel room that we were struggling to pay for every day. And we're here. We're stable. We paid rent the first earlier this month, so that was an amazing feeling. I was I got a little chunk of change that I'm not gonna go into detail about, but I was able to when I got it, I was I looked at Lexi and I was like, what can I pay? It's not a lot, but I was like, what can I pay? And I was able to, pay the light bill and fill up the car with gas, and
got us some lunch. It wasn't. I was broke by the end of it, but like it was good. It felt good to be able to do that, and and contribute that way, and So like I said, we're just 2026 is the year that we're hoping to get back with on track with our businesses, and so that not only take care of ourselves and our family, but those who are.
What you do with that white extension cord there?
It's in the closet on the back. As soon as you open the closet, you'll see it on the floor. But we're hoping to give back, and anyway, not that closet, the other one. Not that closet, the other one. Yeah, the big one. We're hoping to be able to give back and make a difference where we can. Tori says, I got stories. JJ says, there's so much gripe to have with the education school system. I understand. But I will leave it there because nowadays I wouldn't send my kids to school if I had them. Tori says, having to pay rent sucks, but being able to must have felt amazing. It did. It did.
That was the easiest, fastest money I gave up, and I was like, yes.
Oh, JJ, yeah, my nephew is now homeschooled. Like, she had to first of all, which I'm not gonna say on live because I don't want but first of all, think about everything that's going on publicly, like in the public eye with schools. And then there was other stuff that, she was like, I'm done. Like, he's not going back no more. Like, and she when we were there, when we were in her house, like she'd be sitting up midnight, 1:00 in the morning, doing lesson plans and stuff like that, and getting him right, the stuff that he needs and stuff, and she's really good. Like she knows her son, what he's capable of and where he needs help and stuff. So she's really good, and she takes it really serious. Like, she's known as the problem parent and with everybody she deals with, and it's not because she's a bad person, but because she fights. She don't play. She don't take no BS when it comes to my nephew. So, like, she fights tooth and nail to make sure that he gets what he is required. So, Alice says her great grandson is homeschooled. I'm very glad about that. That is awesome. Alice, Miss Alice, you have a great grandson? That must feel amazing. Wow. That must be, I know what it's like to feel as a grandparent, but to be blessed to say I have a great grandson, like that's you go, girl. Like that must feel amazing. JJ said, let me stop. I'm getting triggered. I feel you, man. I feel you. Because let me tell you something. Let me say this. I can't go into detail because people are literally getting fired over this these days, but something is going down in regards to my household. And I'm pissed. Like I'm very, very pissed. I'm very pissed. And quite literally, there's nothing we can do about it. So,
I mean, you can say the story. It's not.
No, because I don't. No, I don't want to say this. So, all right. So, let me just say this. I'll say it like this. Jobs, to get you in the door, they tell you one thing. And then when you go down the line, then they try to change it and make it seem like it's always been like that. These jobs, I could tell you that Jiffy Lube, and my daughter used to work in the same franchise that I was in. I can tell you that they pay you pennies. They literally pay you pennies and then want like top tier service from you. They want you to go above and beyond. Like I've seen jobs where as a district manager, they want to pay they want to pay you to be a multi-unit manager, and then pay you less than what it normally would cost to run one store, or they pay you less than $20 an hour, and then tell you, oh well, you have to be flexible enough to work anywhere within a 50-mile radius. Like, dude, you pay me less than $20 an hour, and I gotta drive 50 miles? Like, are you serious? And it's just real frustrating. And the problem is that these days there's so many people looking for jobs that if you complain, they'll just find somebody who's willing to do it to be happy to have a paycheck. And that is so frustrating to me.
There's a lot of people because
there's reasons why I haven't found a job, because there's people, they're like, oh well, you got to have this and this certification and this and then this, and then you look at the pay, you're like, I'm gonna do 3 times as much work, and this is what you're gonna pay me? Like, and there are people that are, they're like, well, I have to take anything, and it sucks because I'm like, dude, like, by the time I drive everywhere, like, I'm not gonna have much of a paycheck. How much money is that left for me to survive? Like, I'm like, it's not even worth it. And so, which is another, what make me feel, like I said, man, like, these jobs want you to pay, they want top tier service. They want you to perform next level, and then they pay you next to nothing. And it's just so infuriating. And unless you got something going on, like, you have to eat it, because or not, like I said, they'll find somebody else to do it. They'll like, well, this person needs a job, like, and they're willing to do it and put up with the bullshit. And it's like, it's just really frustrating. It's really frustrating. Yeah. Yeah, JJ, Jiffy Lube. Yeah. So they pay, at Jiffy Lube, like I said, they used to pay these guys $7.25, $8, and they give you a raise and it's only a quarter. So these guys are literally fighting for a quarter, and they couldn't afford to buy themselves lunch. They they struggled. But then you want them, to perform $1 million stores and break awards and stuff like that. It's like, you paying these guys nothing. But what happens is, if you're at my franchise, I don't know about any other Jiffy Lube franchise, but if you were at my franchise, they didn't background you for, unless you wanted to become a manager. So literally, they took anybody. You can hire. It doesn't matter what background you had. You can come work, and they paid you next to nothing because they knew, like, okay, dude, you got 3 felonies. Where else are you gonna go? You're gonna have to take this $8 an hour and suck it up. Mm-hmm. But guess what? Don't perform, and we'll find somebody else who's willing to do it. And quite literally, that's what happens. And why you think? And I'm pretty sure that this happens at more locations than not, because Jiffy Lube has such a bad rap in so many different places, right? Right, JJ? Like, he's like, Jiffy Lube, yikes. Exactly. Like, you pay peanuts, if you pay garbage, you get a certain quality of employee. And how many people are gonna want to break their backs? And then they're like, dude, $7.25, bro? Like, what? And now, mind you, we're in the cold. When it rains, we're outside. In the heat, we're out there. Like, snowing. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't care. Tori says, is the tree done?
It is.
Yeah. She's not lying to you. Like they 1175 is what she made, and she ran a store. And her boss, her piece of shit boss, made her do all the dirty work that he couldn't get any of the guys to do, and made her do it. And then because she was my daughter, anytime that she did something that he didn't like, he came crying to me. And the only reason why she couldn't come work for me is because he opened his mouth and told everybody that she was my daughter. Literally, I was at a meeting one day. We were all at a meeting for the store managers, and I got cornered in the bathroom. Yo, Carlos, you got a daughter that works here? Yeah. Which one is it? How many Latinas you see in the crowd? You tell me. How many Latinas you see in the crowd? Literally, like,
Yep.
she used to call me, hey, how do you do this? Or, hey, can you send me this program you use for this? Or how come these guys, I'm like, and they pay you like that. And a lot of jobs do that. They pay you like garbage, and they want you to perform high level. And
Yep.
so, like I said, the only thing you can do is use whatever skill you have to build and start your own thing. And it just sucks. And somebody can make the argument that, well, there's safety and there's longevity, but there isn't. There's people getting laid off every day. There's people getting laid off and losing their jobs every day. Ain't nothing safe.
Can you turn the camera for them to
Yeah,
see?
go ahead. Just use the handle. Lexi's going to turn the camera so you guys can see the tree.
This.
Use the handle. Yeah,
Yes.
and just turn it.
Can you see?
Yeah, I see it. You can zoom. See it. Can you see? It's not on. Tap it. Can you see it? No? You might not. It's okay. Because it's literally fed here, and I don't know how to zoom in here. But can y'all see the tree? Y'all see the tree? Alice says, yes, it looks pretty.
Thank you.
Turn it more, babe. Get the TV off the screen. Sorry, there's a delay. It doesn't tell me. No, turn it back.
Huh?
Turn it back because I don't want the screen to.
It's not.
Oh,
I'm
there you
looking
go.
at it.
Oh, well, it didn't register on the phone yet. Yeah, we have to worry about a copyright here. But that's our little humble tree.
And the next vlog, like, I'll go into it so, like, you can see the actual decorations from far. I know you can't see. I do still want to get some more ornaments. Some meaningful little ornaments.
My allergies are all of a sudden kicking my butt right now. I mean, you're right, JJ. Like I said, I have so much to say, and I don't want to say it but it really does bother me. Like, JJ said, there's longevity in a good poop, but it doesn't mean you should hold on to it.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, it is. But that's, like I said, man, that's the goal. The goal is that, we want to get to a point where eventually, the goal is, 10 years from now to get to a point where, we're living and doing the things that we want. We're living life on our own terms, and we're willing to hustle hard and put in the work. The Bible says works without, faith without works is dead. You know what I mean? So we're willing to put in the work and strive and stuff, but we don't want, life is short, you know what I mean? And we don't want to get to that point where we have no time for ourselves, and our children. Like we want to be, we want to be around for our children, our great grandchildren. We want to be like Miss Alice. We hope to see great grandchildren, and we want to be able to be around for that and enjoy them and not have to worry about be like.
No, that's like the video that I showed you the other day.
Yeah.
The 88-year-old veteran who was working at a supermarket to survive, because he retired in '99 from GM with his pension, and when GM went bankrupt, they took his pension with it, and he's had to work since then. However, in that time, they took his pension. They also took his health coverage. His wife was really sick, so he didn't have a choice at 80 years old to go work.
Excuse me.
So he was working to survive, to pay for his wife's medical bills, and he was discovered by an Australian influencer on TikTok, and he did a GoFundMe for him, and they raised almost $2 million for him, so that he can retire in peace. And the first thing that came out of that man's mouth was, I wish my wife was here to enjoy it. Like, it was heartbreaking.
Oh, they told him?
Yeah.
They told him?
A video, yeah.
Oh, you gotta show me that video.
I saw it,
when they told him.
Last, yeah.
Yeah.
He was an emotional mess.
And we just, we don't want to be like that. I mean, we want our own time. And, like I said, we've been together 13 years. We've been married for 10. And the entire 10 years, we hustled hard to enjoy the life that we did. And it's still, it wasn't lavish. It wasn't, and we gave up a lot of time just to get that much. And if we're going to give up that time, if we're going to put in that kind of energy, it might as well be for something that we want to do, that we're passionate, that we feel fulfilled in, to where we can also give back and then, have the time to live our lives for ourselves. Like, and like I said, we want to be able to be like, you know what? Let's go see our grandson in New York, Let's go visit the kids in, our daughter in Ohio, or our son in Texas, and, let's take Tori and AJ on, let's go do this or do that. Like, we want to be able to do that. We don't want, like I said, there were many times we couldn't do stuff because, it was always, well, Carlos has to work. Carlos has to work. Like, he can't take off right now. Carlos has to work. And it sucked. Everybody else was getting off and taking vacation, and I couldn't because I had to work. We weren't allowed to take vacation on those times.
Well, like when AJ was born, I had to come to North Carolina by myself.
Yeah, because I had to work. So she was here and left me in New York for 2 weeks.
I think it was more than that.
It probably was more than that, And
Tori said, you'll get there. 5 years ago, you were hoping for the views and engagement. You have now, so all things come with time. You got this.
Thank you. And you're right. Things happen when they happen for a reason, the way they, and we believe that. So, but you have to put in the work to do it. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason why I made it this far is because I didn't give up. By the grace of God, He gave me the, resilience to keep going and stuff. So,
well, JJ, thank you. I did the box because I knew the tree was going to be short. So I figured I'd give it a little height, but I didn't want to just put it on anything. So I was like, I could just wrap a box and put it on top.
It looks cute.
And yeah, thank you.
It looks cute.
I love it. And JJ said, we live one life and we should live it to the fullest if and when we can. All the crazy shit going on, we will all overcome it. I agree.
And that's the goal.
Yep.
That's the goal. Literally, that's the, that's our goal for 2026 is to get the ball rolling and, start on our endeavors and building the life that we want and stuff. And it's going to, take some time, but, you got to start somewhere. And, like I tell you guys all the time, where, 6 months ago, none of you were here. I was having these conversations online by myself, and now you guys are here and show up on every video we put out, every short we put out. I recognize the names and you know and it warms our heart. Like you put out something and you be like, oh, I call you guys. I don't say I when you guys first started commenting on videos, I would say, hey, this person on YouTube commented and whatever. Now I'm like, hey, JJ said this. Did you see it? Or I'm like, another.
Tori said, I just want to build a library room, not too much.
Yeah. Miss Patricia, like Patricia said this, or Alice said this, or Shorty said this, or we were like, and now we know who it is that we're talking about. JJ, your comment yesterday, I'm like, babe, I gave Lexi the phone. I'm like, going to the short because for whatever reason she can't comment on shorts on her profile. I don't know. On long form, on the lives, on post, she can, but on shorts, it won't let her comment. So I showed her a phone. I was like, JJ left a comment specifically for you. And she was like, you didn't respond? I said, not yet. I was waiting for you to see it first.
Yeah, people are cruel and greedy, and it's all about me, and I try to be the best me that I can possibly be. I show up, I'm there, I give my all when I am, and sometimes it's just like, most times it's just not appreciated. The moment that they can stab you in your back, the moment that they can make you feel like shit, it's like, it's so easy to do that. Like it's just insane. It's just insane.
And that's what any one of these. I was reading the other day how this tech CEO just laid off 4,000 employees and he's like, oh yeah, we've implemented AI and it's gonna make our workflow and streamline our service and stuff like that. And he was proud that 4,000 people no longer have jobs.
Yeah, JJ, she's a very big book reader. I mean, she already has somewhat of a library room, but she wants like a whole, like everything to just.
Oh, she has a library. She just wants
the room itself to be an entire library.
We'll buy her a house that she can just make the house. She can turn this house she has into a library. Just books everywhere.
That's her happy place.
She is a book. Yeah, she can read some books. Like she tells me how many books. Like she's like, I can read this many books. I said something, and she was like, I could probably read like 4 books in that time. I'm like, 4. Like I've had a book. I've been reading the same book for like 6 years already, and I still haven't finished. And not because it's a bad book. It's just I'm just not a reader. So I just want to say real quick, what did you think about the last vlog? I know JJ, you commented and he was like, your take on that is to be yourself. But I feel like I see that all the time as, and people get discouraged because they're like, oh, well, this person said you have to be like this and do this and you do that and do that. It's like, well, what if you're not that type of person? Like, what if you're not that type of person? Or I can't succeed because I don't make my bed, or I don't get up at 5 a.m, or I don't do this or don't do that. It's like,
Tori said, I do have a decent sized library. I just want a lot more. Laugh out loud. Like, give me Belle from Beauty and the Beast type library.
Did you show Tori that book? Was that book hers?
I don't know if it was hers.
We found a book, Tori, and we don't.
It's in. I have it in the box there.
We know it ain't one of ours.
I may have borrowed it from you, wanting to read it and never did, but I think it's yours.
Yeah, it might be yours. Because it ain't mine. I wouldn't even read a book like that.
The topic, I'm saying, I'm like, not for me. Like 50 Shades of Grey. I'm like, no, that's not. It's not for me. Whose book is that? Not mine.
Not mine.
So
yeah, I just, if I wasn't still there, I'd share a lot more and say a lot more, but it's just, like I said, everywhere you go, there's always that, there's always something. It's like, I've been here, since August, the last week of August. I started like August 28th or something like that. And for the most part, it's, I love my coworkers, like I love who I work with. It's just the business aspect of it that's just, it's just ridiculous. And again, sometimes you just gotta eat poop because that's all you got, right? So you gotta eat it. And yeah.
it's just really frustrating. So, but we hope that you guys have goals and things that you want to accomplish and going forward, or things that you want to leave behind in 2025. And I know it kind of sounds cliche, but no matter what you feel, no matter how hurt you are, no matter what it is, that life has to move on. And if you don't find a way to deal with that and make room for that, then you're forever going to be stuck where you got hurt. Where your frustration is at. Forever, you're forever going to be there. So you got to find ways to just keep on moving, because life has to go on. It has to keep moving despite what we feel. And and if you don't like where you are, you have to change it. You have to take the steps to change it. So and that's the goal. That's where we're at. That's where we're going. And
Tori said, yes, she did see it, and she did lend it to me years ago.
oh.
JJ said, most kids nowadays have no idea what a book is. Most kids in high school are reading and spelling below grade level. I digress. Laugh out loud. And that's the truth.
And there's adults too. But it ain't just kids. Was that? There's adults.
JJ said, which vlog? What were you talking about?
The last. Well, you commented on the vlog. Right? The one.
It wasn't it was a short, wasn't it?
No, the vlog. That said, I'm tired of being who they told me to be, or whatever. But
Tori said, laugh out loud. High school was a long time ago for me, girl.
If it was a long time, at least you finished.
If it was a long time for you, imagine how long ago it was for me.
I don't even. My high school doesn't even exist anymore.
I don't think mine does either.
I think the building is still there, but the high school itself is no longer.
No, I think mine's just went. They're just they're a different school now. Like it's a whole.
But so that's why, like I said, man, you gotta find something you're good at and do it, no matter what it is.
Come over here.
Because anyway, but we're gonna hop off. We're gonna hop off because it was a long day.
So he said, "Hi, Harley Quinn,"
and we don't want to just ramble up here and stuff. So we wanted to do the tree and talk about our goals and stuff. And you guys are gonna be a part of that. You guys are definitely going to be a part of that, because we're going to bring you along on the journey and stuff. And we're just grateful to have your support as always. And we hope we continue to make you guys proud and give you something, worthwhile to engage in. And
good night, Alice.
So, but we love you guys. And
JJ, good night.
JJ, sorry, good night.
Love you. Good
Alice,
night.
Miss Alice, good night. And we catch you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. But we'll see you in the next vlog. Peace. I'm old, I'm fat.